Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of My Father Before Me. This one's going to be a little bit different. This is a video from the vault that me and my dad recorded quite a long time ago, but for whatever reason, never put out. Today, we're going to be talking about the classic movie Airplane. Now, again, this we recorded a while ago, so please forgive some differences in the set, in the setup, in the equipment, and probably, honestly, the quality of the video. That can't be helped. It was months and months ago, but we hope that you enjoy nonetheless. Please ignore any continuity errors in the way in which we talk about things like Liam Neeson's The Naked Gun or the classic Leslie Nielsen Naked Gun, as we hadn't reviewed it at that time. If you're curious, go ahead and go and check out those videos for more of our current setup. Now, without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to past me and past my dad. Now let's roll the intro. A segment where we bring together nerds from different generations to discuss the films that define the culture and made us who we are today. I'm your captain, Brennan Sem. Joining me, as usual, is my co-pilot and basketball legend, Tory Sem. How are you doing today?
Look, kid, you try to drag Walt.
I didn't realize. I was like, is that actually Kareem? At first, I thought it was just like a race joke.
It was, no, that's definitely him.
It's actually Kareem.
Yeah, no, he's Roger Murdoch.
Yeah, sure. But so, Dad, surely you could tell me what movie we're going to be discussing today.
I certainly can, but don't call me Shirley. Yes, today we are going to be discussing that classic 1980 movie parody spoof, Airplane, with an exclamation. So maybe I should say Airplane.
Although, interestingly, on my phone IMDb, it is listed as Flying High.
See, now I've seen that. It must have been in some markets. It was also named that. And the second one was called Flying High too. I've noticed that it was also known as that as well. So yeah, I don't know if that was a other region kind of thing.
Right.
You know, like sometimes they rename stuff.
Yeah, but, that makes sense.
I am kind of curious about that. Of course, Zucker brothers movie, Jim Abrams, David Zucker, Jerry Zucker, listed as directors, which the I think it's the Screen Actors Guild or one of them. Maybe it wouldn't have been them. Wouldn't allow them to have 3 directors listed.
Oh, so the directors.
So
Guild,
Abrams threatened to officially legally change his name to Abrams Zucker, just so that would have all their names on there.
That's funny.
But I think they finally allowed all three directors.
Got through arbitration.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's weird. It does feel there's a lot of people involved in this. I mean, so we've got the director writers, all 3 of them, and then in the writing credits, there's also like 4 separate people credited for like source material.
Well, these guys, so the Zucker brothers, right before this, they had a movie come out called Kentucky Fried Movie.
And sounds great.
And I think that their background or their idea is, more of a skit comedy thing, because Kentucky Fried Movie, and I haven't seen it, but I have heard that it is like it's just a series of vignettes. Like what they did is they would take a video cassette and record late night TV while they were sleeping, and then they go back and watch it and find things that they could satirize and stuff. And most of it was commercials and that sort of thing. So they were recording these late night shows and commercials and stuff in order to get these funny little vignettes that they could throw in and make Kentucky Fried Movie. And they kind of had that mindset. Well, they accidentally recorded, now I forgot it, a movie from the 50s, an airline thriller where the people on board the plane got airsick and they had to find somebody to fly the plane.
Okay.
Sick from basically the premise of this story.
Right.
So they saw that and they immediately started to, that was a serious drama, a serious thriller. But they immediately went to go in there and satirize it. And because they thought that in its seriousness, it was hilarious. It was one of those, we think of like Mystery Science Theater 3000, that sort of thing, where you're watching these movies that are trying to be good and they're not, and you giggle at them and that sort of thing. They saw this classic airline movie and decided that they should spoof it I knew I had it. It was 0 Hour or something like that.
Yeah, zero. Yeah, I think
What
0
was it?
hours right because 0 day is that new.
Yeah, I might be confusing it with that one, but
Yeah, 0 hour.
0 Hour. There you go. And you brought up, incidentally, you brought up Kareem. I think one of the actors in 0 Hour was an athlete, turned to actor.
okay.
So that's why they brought in Kareem to do that.
That's funny. 0 hours has Sterling Hayden in it.
Well, like I
he's
said, it's
great.
probably high art.
Yeah. Fun fact: Kentucky Fried Movie stars Bill Bixby, the
go.
Incredible Hulk. in
You
the
wouldn't
TV
like him when
series.
he's angry, but I guess when he's being funny on Kentucky Fried Movie, he's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. Well, I would be angry in that movie. All kinds of joy and laughter. So this movie, back to Airplane.
Yes.
Fun. I mean, obviously great.
Yes.
It is certainly a different type of comedy than you see these days.
It definitely is. And, I mean, we can get into, and eventually maybe we'll get into some Naked Gun movies, you know,
Sure.
and stuff, which is just more Zucker movies, right? It's the same team. Of course, Leslie Nielsen and that sort of thing. Which, incidentally, I think I heard that they're planning on redoing that with Liam Neeson as
Liam
the Leslie
Neeson?
Nielsen part.
Really? I also, I think Paul Walter Hauser is also supposed to be in that.
Well, there you go. So, I mean, the comedy from these movies is that all of the actors in them, and I should mention, we talk about movies that I see growing up and have defined, that sort of thing. This movie here, I'm sure you knew half the jokes already because
yeah.
every family gathering we have, we're spouting lines off of this thing, right? There's always the "Don't call me Shirley" joke, There's all of those jokes. In Airplane 2, there's a "Why don't you hold yourself together?" and the guy's arm falls off. Stuff, just the silly stuff in there. And it's kind of defined the comedy in our household.
Oh, definitely.
When I was a child. So
Yeah,
it's a classic.
It's movies like this and Christmas Vacation and Anchorman. I would say those are the three.
Yep. Definitely that idea. And this movie, like I said, it kind of drove that home. But the reason it works, like I was saying, is you take these actors like Leslie Nielsen, before this, nothing but a straight man, right? He just did normal drama and that sort of thing. You take Peter Graves. You take I had all these guys' names in my head.
Lloyd Bridges.
Lloyd Bridges. You got Robert Stack, of course.
Oh, sure.
Peter Graves coming off of Mission Impossible TV show, and Robert Stack, just this serious guy. And all these guys were brought in, and they had to be convinced that they were the joke, right? So there's a line. Lloyd Bridges, I think, in an interview said one time, he said, I was asking the directors, I said, what's my motivation? Why would my character want to do this and that sort of thing? And he was having a lot of trouble with him. And I think it was Robert Stack or Leslie Nielsen came up and said, look, we're the joke. We're not the comedians, we're the joke.
Right.
Because they are straight men just delivering the line seriously.
Yeah, very
like
dry.
they're saying it. And, that's the comedy that comes out of it. And that's the whole tone for this movie, I think, other than the one, Greek chorus guy who keeps hopping in with his silly lines. And obviously he's the comedian of the show. But everybody else is playing it serious, and it's all the other stuff around that is the comedy.
Yeah,
right?
That's interesting. That reminds me of, I once saw an interview with, I think it was Bryan Cranston, who was talking about his time on Malcolm in the Middle. And he was saying the essence of being a good comedy actor is that you have to realize when you're in the character, nothing is funny.
Right.
You have to believe exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it, and it has to just be normal for you.
And that's definitely where these guys are coming from on this. They're pulling in these actors, like I said. I mean, I don't know, personally, I don't know, Robert Hayes. Julie Hagerty, I think, was like this was like one of her early films. I mean, this might be introducing Julie Hagerty. As a matter of fact, I think in one of the things she was pretty fresh. Fresh face on movies and that sort of thing. So these, it's her first listing. So those guys, I don't necessarily know, but we're talking about the main, all the old guys,
Yeah.
that are airport and airplane people.
Sure.
You can see them being in these disaster movies of the day, you know, and that kind of thing, being the drama actors and that kind of stuff. And it really played off as like I say, that's the joke, right?
Yeah, and I think it definitely does that really well. I mean, obviously the best part about the movie is everybody's performance. Like I said, I mean, you definitely don't feel like they are doing bits. You feel like they're playing the characters, especially someone like Leslie Nielsen.
Right.
he's just great in this
well,
movie.
and of course, Leslie Nielsen, I mean, we'll get into the Naked Gun movies eventually, but, you know, he, I mean, this was like a resurgence for him, right? Like I said, he's on the tail end of this drama career. He's kind of getting up there in age, you know, he's kind of backing off a little bit, he said, and this really recycled him to be in what he was, you know, as far as a comedian then from then on out. And that was pretty much what he rolled with. But again, it all kind of played up to that being a straight man delivery, but having those lines, right? So, I mean, it's just the way of this comedy. And then, of course, you've got all the background stuff.
Oh,
right?
sure.
I mean, when the part that I giggle at, and I know it's coming right towards the beginning, is when they pull up and they're like the red line or the red curve is for loading and unloading, and the white, you know, and all this. They're going back and forth. In the trivia, that couple that was doing that, they're the actual people who actually make that announcement at some airport. I don't know which one it was. I think it might have been the LA airport, and they're married.
Yeah.
So when they start getting into their little tiff and stuff, it's just it's a fun thing.
That's really funny. One of my favorite gags happens like right in the beginning. It's when oh man, I forgot his name. Robert Hayes, when he first gets the ticket and he's like smoking or non-smoking, right. And the ticket is literally smoking.
They hand him a smoking ticket,
and it keeps smoking until he gets on the plane. Like it's such an extended gag.
They just keep that going.
It's
you know,
so
and
funny.
You got to wonder, and you know, I've never heard this specifically, but you think about some of those times where something is funny, then it goes a little too long, but then it keeps going, and then it's funny again.
Yeah.
Right. And it's that comedy that just keeps rolling. So.
Yeah, definitely. I will say, I think the writing here is so on the nose and hilarious. I mean, how many times what's the line when Randy, I think the other stewardess, is like, you know, we have to get to a hospital, and the passenger's like, what's that?
Right.
And she's like, oh, it's a building with sick people, but that's not
It's
important.
not that important right now. That's the other one. Yes, we get that one quite a bit, and that's one that, like I said, we were talking a little bit. Airplane 2, the sequel. Airplane 2, the Zucker brothers, Abrams and Zucker, said, you know what, we did all the comedy we could, so they didn't want to do it, even though they kind of signed on for it. They kind of backed out, and it was just somebody else who came in and did the sequel with a lot of the same people. Robert Hayes, Julie Hagerty are there. It brings in, like I said, William Shatner, which is another great straight man.
Sure.
You know, delivering comedy.
A captain in his own right.
Yeah, definitely, and it kind of works. There's a few gags that you're gonna have to see on that one eventually, but the reason it works is because this one was set up, right? Because they do a lot of that, but that's not important right now. Jokes, you know, in that movie, and they kind of stretch it out a little bit too far, and they keep on saying it and that sort of thing. But yeah, when they come in there and pull that in, and then all the, all of the. So there's this scene at the beginning where they're getting ready to get on the plane. Now, these are things that are take off, right? Even before they're taken off. And these are things that maybe don't hit as well. But there's the guy outside. It's actually J.J. Walker who's doing it.
Okay.
But he's cleaning the windows, and then he's popping the hood and checking the oil of the plane. And then the guy comes up to the window, and he has to run his credit card, just like a full-service gas station. You know, I mean, just that kind of stuff. Jokes of the time, but really seem to hit pretty good.
Yeah, another one that I really like, speaking of a joke of the time, is when the plane is taking off and they're doing like the classic stereotypical like train departure,
Right.
where they're flying or they're beginning to take off and the door's just wide open.
Right.
And he's like, bye.
He's waving, and the little girl's running beside him.
Yeah. Now, I will say, when she runs into those things, that was not good.
Yeah.
That was dumb. They did it two times, and it didn't look. She should have reacted a little more to actually hitting the thing.
Yeah, I don't think she sold it too well.
No. Oh man. Yeah.
The other, I mean, maybe we could spend the whole time just talking about gags, but the other running gag I like is every time Stryker sits next to someone, starts telling a story, they get so bored they kill themselves.
Yeah.
You know, we got the old lady hanging herself. We got James Hong. going in and you know,
seppuku, ritual suicide, or
suicide. Whatever. Yeah, I mean that's a, you know, like and again, each one's slightly different, but it's a good running gag.
Yeah, definitely. We got the guy who's about to light himself on fire.
What does he say? Would you like to come up to the cockpit and see that guy is sitting there with the match going? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. Now, what I will say about that gag is I was surprised during this movie just how much character development we got for Ted Stryker. I mean, we really get the whole gamut here. We get the whole backstory, the whole change. There's a lot there.
I mean, we get his whole we get the whole Elaine and Ted story.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep on going, which something else I was going to mention, the beach they're on. Where they filmed their little beach love scene, which was from Here to Eternity, is a classic movie that's the same beach where Charlton Heston sees the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, really?
I thought that was fun trivia. So.
You know, I was going to save this for later, but we do have another Planet of the Apes connection.
Well, of course we do. I mean, it was what, 80, so I mean, we're getting towards the tail end, I suppose.
The cinematographer for this, Joseph F. Buroke, I don't know how to pronounce this. He also did the cinematography for Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Arguably a great Planet from the Apes movie.
Definitely not the worst of the sequels. This is the one where the apes, after, spoiler alert, after the Earth is exploded at the end of the second one, this is where we've got, I don't remember their names, Zira and Cornelius escape to present-day Earth.
Is this the one where Roddy McDowall plays his own son? Or that's a future one? No, this is actually Cornelius.
Yeah, he plays Cornelius, and then after this is when he plays Caesar. Which... Conquest is not that good either. Man, I love those movies. They are not good, the sequels, but they're just so great.
They're worth it. They're worth every minute.
Yes, we've got some other connections to Joseph F. Buroke, but I'll save those until later. I was interested to know a little bit more about like what actually happened between Ted Stryker and this captain who they pull in to help him describe how to land the plane, Captain Rex Kramer.
Robert Stack. Well, you know, here's the deal. So I know Robert Stack, you know, was a Believe It or Not, was the TV show, you know, where he was talking about strange things on, you know, we used to watch that a ton as a kid.
Sure.
Right. But of course, he's, like I said, he's one of those guys who came off of, you know, serious drama, might have been dramatic television, I think. But he, of course, Caddyshack 2, you're going to have to watch that one of these days.
Oh, yeah.
So that's serious drama. But, yeah, so I recognize his voice, and you can hear in the beginning when Stryker's having his first flashback, you can hear Peter Graves' voice, not Peter Graves, Robert Stack's voice over the whatever, you know, radio, you know, or something, telling Stryker to go in or something like that.
Oh, he's the guy saying it's your choice.
Right. So it must have been, he must have been that dude, right?
Yeah, that's that. Okay, so that is one thing about the backstory that I don't necessarily really understand. I mean, I don't really get what happened.
Well, obviously there was a big thing over Macho Grande.
Yeah.
I don't think that they were worried about accuracy in this wartime cinema or anything.
No. But I do like how they, you know, I mentioned we get a lot of character development for this Ted Stryker guy. I like how they pulled in somehow Leslie Nielsen knows the guy, Ted Stryker's partner or whatever, who went down. What was his name?
George Zip. George Zip. Didn't work out so well for George Zip.
Yeah, that was great. Oh man, yeah. I will say, as far as like comedy movie goes, this one actually does have a decent story.
It's one that, like I said, you know, this is one growing up that we watched and really set the tone for the comedy around our house. You know, you know, Grandpa.
Oh, definitely.
Obviously, this is his ball of wax as well. So when we are ball of wax, no. So
I think it works.
Yeah, we're gonna run with it. So when we're talking about this movie, we're talking about that comedy that just kind of is pervasive. And even when I'm watching it, you know, even when I'm doing my rewatch a couple days ago, still giggling, you know, because and I know every line, right?
Sure.
We've seen it enough. I know what's coming up, but it still just makes me giggle every time.
Yeah, yeah. There are some things that are always funny, no matter how many times you see them. Just like I mentioned earlier, like Anchorman. There's no way you could watch that movie and not laugh.
Right. Now, is it in this one or is it Airplane 2? Something that makes me giggle is there's a couple. It might have been Airplane 2, but there is a joke where there's a couple people. There's a man and a woman air traffic controller standing behind the guy. And he's going, "Striker, striker, striker," and then he turns around and says, "Striker," and he turns around and just wails on the woman.
That's funny.
That must be an Airplane 2, but I mean, just that little stuff. And you know what? Now that I might be conflating the two, but there's a scene where it's as soon as he hears about this, the shit's really going to hit the fan, and then they actually show some hitting the fan.
That's in the first one.
Yeah, that's quality stuff.
That's a good one. One of my favorite, speaking of the air traffic control office, one of my favorite gags throughout the entire thing is, what's his name? Lloyd Bridges, McCroskey. He was like, guess I chose the wrong week to try to quit amphetamines.
That's right. Chose the wrong week to quit snuffing glue. And then he's upside down and high.
Yeah, that was a good one. I loved that joke. Every time it happened, I was like, this is peak.
It's good stuff, and you know, they, like I say, and it keeps escalating.
Yeah,
right. You know, I mean, he's throwing his cigarette into people's coffee cups, and eventually somebody drinks it, you know, and stuff. It's some good quality stuff.
Yeah, well, and that gag in particular is great because he, like you said, he starts with I should have wrong week to quit smoking,
right,
and then it's drinking, and then it's amphetamines, and then it's huffing glue.
I know, and you know, I got to remember you mentioned the smoking joke, the smoking plane ticket. Smoking or non-smoking, and I thought, oh yeah, I forgot they could smoke in the airplanes, and then he hands him the smoking tickets. Great stuff.
That's another thing too. I completely forgot that you could smoke in planes. You look at like old pictures from back in the day of like what it looked like in the planes when people could smoke, and that's just insane.
Well, it's just little cancer terrariums. You know? And then they got to the point where smoking was banned except in designated areas in the airport. And if you were to walk by one of those rooms, they'd open it up, and it was like a glass room. And you could just kind of see the haze. If you walk by there when somebody opens that, you could just feel it. You know.
A simpler time.
Oh yes.
Back in the day
back when the cancer was free. Now we only get cancer from our plastic.
Back when they advertised cigarettes to children.
That's right.
I love one of my favorite. This is a weird tangent, but one of my favorite like smoking advertisement things is I saw one of they were selling cigarettes to pregnant ladies. It was saying you can switch to this, and oh man, that was a fun time.
Good quality stuff there.
Now we're gonna be taking a look at the little bit of the cast list here and seeing some fun connections we've got. So, Dad, you mentioned we had a nerdy connection with Leslie Nielsen.
No, Lloyd Bridges.
Lloyd Bridges. Oh, my bad.
Well, I mean, so
too many L's.
As we mentioned, you know, the cast was definitely a straight cast, right? Or at least they had come from straight backgrounds. For example, like I was going to say, Lloyd Bridges. He initially didn't want to do it. I mean, a lot of these guys, if you talk to them in interviews, they're all saying they didn't necessarily want to do it. Right? Oh. But they got talked into it. Lloyd Bridges got talked into it by his son. So we can thank Tron, you know, or Kevin Flynn from Tron for giving us.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Yes, obviously Bridges. That makes a lot of sense.
For giving us our Lloyd Bridges comedy, which, I mean, obviously, between this one and the next one, you know, it's comedy gold. Yeah, so I mean, of course, we've got Kareem in there, and I was just noticing the cast list alphabetical, so Kareem's top billing, which is great for him. But,
let's go, Mr. Abdul-Jabbar. I did see there's one other, you know, tangentially related nerd connection for Lloyd Bridges. He was in the original Battlestar Galactica series.
Yes,
Commander Kane.
So, you know, spoiler alert: the second movie. I keep talking about the second one. You didn't get a chance to watch it.
That's fine. We'll
the
tease
second
the next
movie
episode.
is slightly in the future, and now they've got space shuttle.
Oh, sure.
They're flying to the moon because it's air. You know, they've commercialized space flight.
Yeah,
and it actually opens with the theme from Battlestar Galactica, which someday we're going to have to be doing some Battlestar Galactica rewatches.
I have wanted to watch Battlestar for so long.
I mean, obviously the recent reboot is well worth it. I mean, that's an excellent show.
Is that the one with Katie Sackhoff?
Yes. Yeah. You got to get around to watching that one.
She's going to be at Planet Comic-Con Kansas City.
Excellent.
Which we'll be going to. Stay tuned for that for another month. We'll be doing a vlog.
Nice.
So that's a very far away.
I also saw some of the Doctor Who's are going to be there too. So
yes.
River Song.
I don't remember any of the companions except for Billy or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
And Alex, I remember her too. And
That should be a fun trip for you. I know the kids are, your brother and his wife are going to see
Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard again. Yeah, you bet. So
yes, David. Speaking of Doctor Who's, David Tennant's going to be there.
that's who he was.
Yeah.
Okay, that's who it was.
Oh,
Which, of course, that's I don't know. Is that Doctor Who or is that Purple Man?
Oh,
For our nerdness.
Yes.
So.
Never mind. I'm not going to get into a whole Marvel thing right now.
we're gonna roll off on that. That's a whole nother episode.
I would have been talking. Although, speaking of Marvel, we have the next nerd connection,
Nice.
which is Robert Hayes. You see how smooth that was?
He nailed it.
Robert Hayes is the voice of Tony Stark, Iron Man in Spider-Man the Animated Series, the Incredible Hulk animated series.
Ooh, he was in a Superman one. I know you're talking Marvel.
Yes, and he was also in the animated Iron Man series, which I haven't seen Spider-Man or the Incredible Hulk, but I love that Iron Man one.
Well, that's interesting.
That's
I don't know if
good.
I've ever seen any of that.
It's well worth the watch. I think Iron Man might be on Disney Plus at this point. But yes, he was also in 2 episodes of Superman the Animated Series, which is so good. Everybody always talks about Batman the Animated Series, but nobody talks about Superman.
Nobody's well, Superman's a chump.
Which, wow. Wow.
Hot take. No.
Wow. Speaking of Superman the Animated Series, Tim Daly, the guy who does the voice for the Man of Steel, also going to be at Comic-Con. So there was another connection
Ooh,
there.
you can ask him about Wings.
Wings?
Wings was a sitcom that he was the main guy on, and that was on TV for years.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And then here he was also Robert Hayes was also in an episode of the Linda Carter Wonder Woman series.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yes.
I am surprised. Did you find any Psych connections? Because I'm assuming that Robert Hayes would be the guy who'd show up in an episode of Psych or something. But
I did not see any. That's a good point. He was in that 70s show. I didn't even think to look out for that. I'm sure there's got to be some crossover there. This is definitely a movie they would have talked about.
I think we need to, when we get the New Wave Nerds website, I think we're going to have like a 6 degrees of Psych or something.
Oh.
It's probably only 1 degree because we've got so many references.
It'd be a pretty short game.
Yeah.
I did also just see another thing on the Robert Hayes IMDb page, which is a connection to a previous My Father Before Me episode. He was in Starman.
Paul Forrester. Now, what did he do in Starman?
He's the main guy.
Oh, that's right. He's a TV show, right? He was
Yes.
Starman on the TV show. I was thinking of the
Yeah.
movie. That's right.
Which, and to be fair, he does look a lot like a young Jeff Bridges.
He could pull it off. Of course, that alien could look like anybody because he just comes down and flies into somebody's hair. And
That is also very true. That is, in fact, true.
I don't think we did a video of that one. Somebody's going to have to go back and find their own audio of that quality film.
Wait, for Starman?
Or were we video on that one?
That was, we were here for that one.
Okay,
That
good.
was one of the first ones.
You
I
get to
remember.
see our one. So that means you guys can go back and find it on YouTube. It's worth the
Yes.
shot.
Is that, that's John Carpenter, right?
Yes.
Is
Now I'm
it?
going to say that and I'm going to wonder. Incidentally, every time I start typing in IMDb on my browser, it always goes to Starman. I don't know how, but for some reason, Google Chrome thinks that I always want to look up Starman whenever I go to IMDb.
That's really funny. My Google Chrome does the same thing, not with IMDb, but when I try to go to the page that I use to look up new comic book releases, it goes to new releases, but from December, like the week of the 18th or whatever. So I got to skip forward 2 months to find anything.
Well, this is on web designers for making it so easy to have that link.
Yeah. Now, that's all I've got.
Speaking of airplane.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
I mean,
for
so
Robert
that's the
Hayes.
thing with this though is this movie and other movies. I mean, like there's not the old lady who hangs herself, but there's an old lady in the airplane movie. It's one of the directors. It's a Zucker mom.
Oh.
And she shows up in other ones. She's in Naked Gun movies and stuff. So the Zucker brothers are the kind of people who will grab people thrown in for bit parts. Like I mentioned earlier, J.J. Walker is the guy who's cleaning the windshield. He just happened to be on set, and they said, "Hey, you want to hop on the airplane movie?" And stuff like that. I think they paid him like $600 a set or something like that for his for his visit.
In the 80s, that's not bad.
I know. Well, he's a big name. I mean, that was good times, prime good times for J.J. Walker. And if you don't know what I mean, he was on the show called Good Times. Not just that it was good times for him. But
was that old lady, is she the one who, how do I put this lightly? Does coke? she like refuses aspirin or something and then does a couple lines.
I can't remember it. No, it wasn't her. It was a different old lady, and it wasn't the one who's spitting eggs out of her mouth.
Oh God, I forgot about that too. And he cracks it open and a live bird flies out.
And he's doing his hand, like magicians do, to just have that fake egg. It's great stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of like dry comedy and dry delivery, there. When he like stands up and looks at the stewardess and is like, "This is bad news." The delivery there is so perfect.
He definitely, I mean, like I said, he's got to be they've got to be channeling that serious side, right? Just the way that it pops up.
It's so good. I mean, it was just such a great performance. Every time I think about Leslie Nielsen at that, there's always some new joke I remember now.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's just it. Is I only know Leslie Nielsen from Airplane, from Naked Gun. I only know his comedy career, right? But I know the dude had a huge dramatic career before then, where he was on a lot of things, and he was known for that at the time. So pulling in these guys who are, serious actors and playing. I mean, there's the scene where people are lining up to slap the lady who's going crazy.
Yeah.
There's actually somebody had mentioned somewhere on some of the trivia that the second time he slaps her, the actress didn't know he was going to do that, and he actually hit her.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I didn't know what that joke was from, but they parody it in an episode of Family Guy. So I was like,
I'm sure.
I know what this is.
That's some quality stuff there, and it's actually because I think in the movie that the old movies, there is somebody who's going a little nuts, and they get a hold of yourself and smack her, and this is something back in the day you'd see a lot. Obviously, that's not prescribed medical treatment right now.
Wow.
But it's something back in the day that you'd see a lot. That whole get a hold of yourself, smack him, and they, okay, I'm fine, right? But then they're lighted up. The guy in the back has got there's a guy with a bat, and there's
this guy with massive boxing gloves. Yeah,
I think somebody's got a revolver towards the end. It just keeps escalating as you move back.
Yeah, this movie is definitely like the epitome of comedy escalation. I mean, there's never any joke that is just like a one-off. Everything's repeated.
Even something that doesn't quite hit right now, but was great at the time, was the jive talk.
So
that is
funny.
something where you will.
I was like, this is so 80s.
And you'll hear your Uncle Jerry. He'll do the shit, and then he'll say golly, because they're translating it, and stuff. But when is it Barbara Billingsley, the old lady walks up. She was the mom on Leave It to Beaver. I think.
Okay.
And she walks up and she's talking jive with him.
Yeah, she's credited as Jive Lady.
Right. And so she didn't quite know what was going on there. So the guys that did that, the two guys who were doing that jive, they made it all up. They just were running with it and stuff. And they said, no, this is what we're going to say. They put the credits under and stuff.
That's so funny.
I guess there's a documentary or a little special video that came out at some point on one of the DVDs where those guys were actually doing an interview, and they're speaking not in jive, they're speaking normal, but they did the subtitles in jive.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah,
I like that. So like we mentioned, there's not that many connections in the various cast members, but we do have some interesting ones. Again, going back to the cinematographer Joe Buroch.
Yeah.
Buroch? I don't know.
I believe you.
Take your pick. I mentioned he was a cinematographer for Escape from the Planet of the Apes, but we also have the 1974 TV movie Wonder Woman. This is not Linda Carter.
Oh, this is the one where she's a secret agent?
Yes, and she has just the greatest costume to ever grace the screen. It's truly something.
They really tried to get Wonder Woman on the screen.
Oh, man, we've got Ricardo Montalban in this, too. There we go. That's a connection to Wrath of Khan.
There you go.
Check out that video, which is very old. We still have to do Final
That's not
Frontier.
that old. We had Shayde on that one too, so that's not too old.
Yeah. Well, it feels like it's been a long time.
Feels like we haven't picked up that thread yet. We've only done 2 of them, or 3 of them. We did 3 of them.
Yeah, because we did do Voyage Home. You're right. So we've got Wonder Woman. We also have the George Reeves Superman, which is just incredible, and that's only partially ironic. It's actually really good. We have Brian's song, and what was the last one here? That's right. It's early. His like 3rd credit ever is arguably one of the greatest movies ever created. It's a Wonderful Life.
Well, there you go. Director of photography. That dude has been around for a while. He was slumming it with Airplane.
Yeah. What a wild smorgasbord here. Oh, a couple episodes of Dick Tracy. I feel like we've name dropped that before on the podcast here.
Oh yeah. Someday we'll watch the Dick Tracy. Was it the 90s, 80s, late 80s?
That would be an excellent question.
With one of these days I'll actually
Warren
remember
Beatty.
Warren Beatty. Someday I'll remember names.
Who else is in that? Did that say Al Pacino?
Al Pacino and Madonna.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, William Forsythe.
Oh yeah, we have got to do this one, if only because I need to rewatch it again too. But when did this one come out? I forget now.
90.
Okay. Well,
you're the one who said that.
It's before your time. So
let's see. Oh, it won 3 Oscars, so
I'm
it's
sure.
actually good. Nominee for Pacino. Best nominee for cinematography.
There you go.
Interesting.
It's definitely a visual masterpiece.
Speaking of Al Pacino, stay tuned for 2 more weeks when I will be reviewing The Devil's Advocate,
yes.
in which he plays, spoiler alert, the devil. Which is just it's
I don't
such a
think he
good
ever
movie.
says he is, right? Is that one of those we don't really say he is, but
well, so it's a little weird. It's ambiguous.
Well, save it for your coverage.
Actually, now that I say that, I think the Devil's Advocate video will be released before this gets uploaded.
Okay.
So definitely go
tune
check out
back
that video.
last week when Brennan discusses the Devil's Advocate.
But yeah, it is ambiguous, but I think it's pretty set in stone. I mean, he gets shot by Keanu Reeves like 6 times, and he's just like, hey, oh, hey. And then there's a part where Keanu is like, oh, you're Satan. And Al Pacino's like, whatever.
Yeah.
So
he's definitely rolling with it.
he's a little flippant. But man, what a good movie. If you haven't seen that, it's great.
That's right.
I
If
would
you've made it
recommend
to
that.
this movie, trust me, you're going to want to go back and watch that one.
If you like Airplane, then
like
you'll
Airplane,
like
you're
The
gonna
Devil's
love-
Advocate. They're very similar in many ways. But Dad, to finish this out, any final thoughts on Airplane?
If you haven't seen it, you need to. It's on, where do we watch it? Tubi, I think.
Pluto.
Right now. Pluto. One of those free to watch with some ads, and the ads weren't too bad.
No, I felt like there were less ads on this than there were on most other streaming services.
I do have to say that I love that I finally made you watch it, because I know that over the years I said, let's watch Airplane, and you just haven't been in the mood. So now I had you trapped, and we got a chance to view it. I think that it's a classic. Like I say, it becomes part of the lexicon.
Definitely.
Obviously, some things are maybe a little bit dated for the humor. And
Perhaps.
because I'm old, I understood them all, and it was great. But yeah, it's good fun. It's one of those movies that rewards you for watching it again, because like there is stuff in the background that you see that you didn't see before. And that kind of thing. Like there's signs that are just weird,
Okay.
Or there's background people doing something that are somewhat off. It definitely rewards repeat viewings. And it's worth checking it out anytime you just need to sit and giggle. So.
Yeah, definitely. I would say it holds up. What are we at? Like 45 years later? Man, you're old. It's a great movie. Wow, you were 5 when this came out.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it in the theater.
Well, I mean, there is one part with a naked lady just bouncing up in front of the screen.
But it's only PG. And actually, I think, what was it? Is it this one or Airplane 2? It might be Airplane 2. They walk through a security gate, and the X-ray only shows all the women walking through. It shows them topless, and stuff. And I think
great.
there was something in the trivia where Airplane 2 is a PG movie that actually has more nudity than most R-rated movies now.
Oh, that's funny. Well,
just because of that little gag. But
interesting. So I wonder. So 82. We do
82.
this every time we talk about the ratings. When did Temple of Doom come out?
Temple of Doom was 84, right?
Okay.
Or Gremlins. I think Gremlins was the one that really kicked off the need for the PG-13, or where Spielberg said we need that, and it was right. And Temple of Doom might have been. Was it the first one that was PG-13? Or
they were both 84, so I guess they're.
Okay, no,
Temple of Doom is
says
PG
on the IMDb. So, but at one point, yeah, there was that, and we did have that discussion.
Well, Gremlins is also listed as PG.
Yeah, so I think those were the ones that kind of really drove home the fact that we need something in between. I think those were the ones that kind of triggered it. Oh, the first Red Dawn,
which is also released in 84. So yeah, I guess you could probably attribute it in large part to some of those two movies.
Mm-hmm.
C. Thomas Howell. What am I thinking of him from? Oh man, it's a classic movie.
If I could tell you what you were thinking, well, The Outsiders is a classic movie. Have you seen that one?
Yeah. Well, we have every high school kid has to watch that now. It's not optional. But I feel like there was something else.
Oh, these on Criminal Minds.
Bigfoot Wars. I'm sure that's great.
Oh yeah,
3.1 stars.
Classic. Well, sometimes people got to pay for their house.
A small town becomes the focal point of a brutal clash between man and a legendary beast.
Bigfoot Wars. That I don't know. Wars tells me that there's more involved than just one Bigfoot. Big feet?
Oh, could you imagine? It's an army of yeah. I suppose it would probably be Bigfoots.
Proud foots, proud feet. Don't make me go back to The Hobbit.
Oh no!
Or no, that's Lord of the Rings.
Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, close enough. Wow, that's going to get both of us a lot of hate for that little mixture.
Don't be messing with it.
But I think we're going to end it there. All of you viewers, what does Bilbo say? I know half of you half of you half as well as I should. And
no, I like half of you half as well as no.
I like half of you half as well as I should.
I had that one down. I was going to diagram that one day.
Oh, that's what I'm gonna give. That's gonna be my speech at your eulogy.
There you go.
I'm gonna say that exact thing. In any case, that was a little morbid. We are gonna end it there, and we will be back in 2 weeks for another classic movie. Perhaps Airplane 2, perhaps something completely random. We'll have to wait and see. Make sure that you subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you can know when the next classic movie